Well, good morning. Welcome for joining with me this morning. Hey, great day, sun's out. Whew, loving it. Hey, remember this, spring is on its way. You know, with the pandemic and all that stuff, it's just, you've kind of been everybody's been cooped up and stuff. And so to be able to get out and actually get in the sun and just feel the warmth, that's great. So anyway, spring is almost here. So hey, today I want to just kick back a little bit and talk about something that happens to all of us, and that's a thing called hurt, you know, and we get hurt as a child, we get hurt when we go to school, we get hurt throughout life. Hurt is something we just simply keep running up against because people have a tendency to hurt each other. And I remember back when I first started restoration, people would come up to me and they'd go, well, how do I know if I need to go through restoration? And I would I thought for a long time trying to figure out what was the right thing to say. And finally I just came to this deal. I said, well, let me ask you one question. Have you ever been hurt? Because if you have and you haven't dealt with that hurt, then you need to deal with it, go through restoration and deal with that hurt. Because see, if we don't deal with hurt, what happens to us, we just kind of work things out to try to work around that and ignore it and push that hurt down, and hopefully it'll go away, and it keeps resurfacing, and it could cause a real mess. And I, as a young boy, got hurt a lot. And so we're going to talk about that, because I know you have been hurt too. With the whole pandemic thing where we're alone and isolated, sometimes all of that hurt that we've kind of poked down starts kind of seeping to the surface. And I want us to really help make sure we're helping work that hurt out. I learned a really interesting thing back in about 1985. When I started, actually before I started restoration, I had got saved, back in 1972. Mona had left me, and so I came to Jesus because of that situation, and so started turning my life around. We moved to Junction City, began going to the church here, Christ Center. And so as the years went by, I actually became one of the leaders in the church. But I'm watching people and I'm going, God, something's wrong. I said, I know these people love Jesus, but they're hurting each other. They're saying things to each other and getting in arguments, and things are just happening. I said, something isn't right. I said, what's wrong? And he said, Ed, they've never been healed. And I went, what do you mean? He said they've got saved, but they've never actually been healed of the hurts of their past. See, one of the things that happens to us is we have a tendency to think when you get saved, it makes everything right. Salvation doesn't fix all the hurts of your past. What salvation does, it makes you right with God, because God sent Jesus to pay the price of sin so that he could now adopt you into the family of God, and you are saved, you are redeemed. But that hurt of our past can still be very much in place. And when God spoke that to me, I went, well, wow, I never thought of that way. I just assumed these people were all saved and everything fine. And he said, no, they need to be healed. And I said, well, how do you heal them? And God spoke to me. It's kind of like he just kind of pointed to me and he said, Ed, it starts with you. And so for about a 2-year period after that, before I started restoration, God took me through the healing process, because of all the damage that had happened to me. All those things are what had actually got me in trouble. And so when I came to Christ, I'm totally saved. Jesus said, now I want to heal you. And in that 2-year process, he walked me through a healing that was absolutely marvelous. So I want us to, we're going to walk that through over the next few sessions, because I think it'll help in us dealing with those hurts in our life. So anyway, I know it started with me. Sometimes when you're wanting changes to happen in other people, it has to start in you first. And so in this case, God did that for 2 years. Everything he showed me and walked me through, I wrote that down, and that's actually what's in restoration to help bring healing to people. What God did to me, he showed me how to do that and bring healing to people. So join with me over the next number of sessions here. We're going to take a good look at what hurt can do to you. Okay? See you next time.